So here is Lee at Tryon International in our 3-star long. We are coming down the center line. We have to do a down transition to trot. And then tracking left. Still kind of strange to not be halting at this level. They changed that. We go into shoulder in, and he actually heard some noises, which you can't see. It's a kind of stadium covered, and there were some sounds that spooked him a little bit. And he does it again there. So I'm working to just get him to settle some. We're doing our half pass. So he's a little tense and tight, so I'm not able to kind of really get him to stretch out through his neck and kind of pushing through his body to get the bigger marks in the trot. Making sure I do my 10-meter circle. This test is known to get some errors in it for riders forgetting that circle at the end. Trying to make sure I go into my corners. And now we do a extended trot, which he was pretty good through there. Allowed me to press through and then coming back. Trying to make sure I get into my corners. And then coming in for the halt. Almost super square. And for our rein back, he got a little crooked. And now you can see a little bit of the tension in our walk. He's kind of behind the vertical a little bit and falling down behind the bit some. So I'm trying to get him to press out and take his nose down and out to take my hand a bit. Now we're going into the extended walk. He's doing pretty good. He's holding his focus after we had the bobble of the spooking in the beginning. Which is, to be fair, he's pretty fit for this 3-day. Now back to medium walk. And doing a transition to trot was maybe a smidge late. Supposed to be directly at C with my leg over C for that transition. And now into the shoulder in. You can see he's just a little tight. So I'm just riding the horse that I have where he's comfortable, trying to maintain it so I can get some relaxation. And we do a half 10-meter circle into our half pass. And he's very smart. And he's actually started the half pass with his haunches a little early because he knew this move was coming up. So I had to kind of go with it there. Lost a couple of points with that, as you want the shoulders to be leading, not the haunches. And then we do our second 10-meter circle. And into the canter. That was pretty prompt at C. And we go across the diagonal for a medium. And again, I kind of feel him get tight and want to kind of explode. So I'm trying to keep the lid on a little bit. You just tell he's just a little tight. Down transition to trot. And then we canter again at A. And now this comes up pretty quick. We have to do serpentines of canter walk transitions. This guy is a little sticky. Those are not Lee's favorite movements to do. And now we come again. Anytime we cross the center line on this serpentine, we have to do a canter walk. Again, just getting a little sticky, but obedient enough. And then coming on the stretch circle, which he normally loves this, but again, he's kind of tight and he's not really taking the bit down and out. He does a little bit at the end, but he really needs to take his nose and stretch out. And now I cross the diagonal to do another medium, which this is a little bit better. And back before the letter. And then down transition trot at K. There was some clapping that happened, so he did pretty good to stay with me there. And into the halt. Overall, I was really pleased with the test. It wasn't our most extravagant test, but it was fairly obedient, and we finished up in 23rd. And now on to cross country. This is going to be a little hard for you guys to see as I'm coming into
Elisa,
the
Wallace.
first field, but there's water jump
Down off the hill.
that we're coming to after we come down the big hill. And he just is a little bit impressed by the atmosphere in the beginning. So he just feels a little bit backed off and kind of really getting into his rhythm. You see me kind of splash through the water. And then we did a bending line to a skinny. Did that well. And I kind of just let him stay steady at his pace that he was comfortable with. I was encouraging him to go forward so he wouldn't get too slow on the clock. And come to angled one stride there. And then we cross after we jump this vertical, which again is hard for you guys to see in the woods, but we're going to cross this bridge. Which at every bridge crossing, he was a little bit like, what the heck are we crossing bridges for? So it was just a little bit slower than I necessarily would like. And we're going, you can see the footing. This is on a golf course at Tryon. They did an amazing job here getting the footing ready for us to run, considering there was so much rain that had happened earlier on in the week. And it was really an effort for the crew to get this able, and the courses were great. See Lee just jumping those two big tables there. And then we cross over our next bridge, coming into this field now. And then we have another set of tables, and it's kind of hard to see, but the ground here is very undulating, so it's never really flat. It's really good for the horses to kind of learn and get that experience of that undulation. Here we come to the water, and he jumps out a little funny, and there's a reason for that, because what you couldn't see is the advanced had a waterfall on the back side of their water, so he spooked a little bit, and we had to get our focus back. I actually really had to work at that two stride coming out there, but we got together. Kind of took a little shortcut up the hill. And this next combination was causing quite a bit of trouble, so I opted to take the long route. So there were options here, and I did not take the direct route because Lee tends to slip a bit, and so I decided to take my time. Really wanted this to be a confident round for him. And he did that really, really well. And you can see now we're starting to kind of pick up a little bit more speed. We're coming into about near the last third of the course now. We come in through another water. We're going to jump a boat out of the water. And then you have another kind of a longer gallop through the water. And that can be a bit of a time suck, because you're not able to go as quick as you would like. And now Lee's really getting into a good rhythm, and I have plenty of horse. He was conditioned for actually 10 minutes, and this course was only, I think it was 8:30 was our optimum time. So he's feeling very good, very fresh here. Kind of finally feels like he is in a good rhythm and nice and confident. Coming to the last kind of combination here with an open right-handed corner, which I was a little concerned about, as the right-handed corners can kind of be a nemesis near the end of a course sometimes. It's easy for horses to have a glance off. And now we're coming to these two big houses here. Find it right out of stride. Super good. And again, I'm not having to adjust very much. I'm just balancing him here for this third bridge crossing. It was pretty fun to cross those bridges. However, I do have a fear of heights kind of when it comes to bridges as well. So I was always very happy to kind of get over those with my horses. Coming to the last couple of fences on course. And he's doing really well. I have a lot of horse. He's not feeling tired at all, and he's jumping really good. So I was really pleased with how he felt. We ended up being around 30 seconds slow, and so that gave us 9.2 time penalties to add to our dressage score and kept us in 21st place. So all in all, I was really pleased with the go and how good he felt, and it really was educational for him as far as dealing with the atmosphere and kind of the ground and the undulating. It was a really good round for Lee.
Well, we're getting down to the end now of our day. We have Jenny Dromstrom Dennis just out of the box, Flower Girl. Lisa Wallace finishing home with Let It Be Lee. Callie Lipping around the lake.
Now for our 3 days, there's always a vet inspection before competition and then after cross country to make sure the horses are fit and sound to compete in show jump. So Lee was very fit and keen and nice and sound, and passed very easily. Now you'll notice that we are on a packed footing in a covered arena, and that decision was made because earlier on in the week it was basically flooding. So the officials had to make a decision and based on safety. So moving on to show jump. Again, we were in not the main arena, but we were in another arena that had the stadium next to it. So it had a fair amount of atmosphere for Lee. He was feeling very good. He recovered really well after his cross country, so he's feeling very fresh and kind of keen. So coming to the first fence gave me a really good feeling of jumping up and over and through his hind end. We're still working out kind of the kinks on how exactly he wants to go, but he's jumping really, really well, settling in around the course. You see he's kind of resisting a little bit, opening his mouth against my hand because he kind of wants to go forward to the fence, but I had to balance him there. And now heading to the triple. I almost overbalanced here because I wanted to make sure to get in quiet because he tends to eat up the lines, and I ended up having the middle rail down, which was really a cheap rail because it fell down after I was out of the triple. He jumped up and big and over. He's making these look very small, even though these are not small. Coming down this line here. Jumps that really good. Now coming to our last line. I have to make sure I keep him settled here. And got lucky there. Then he jumps up really good over the oxer. And then coming to the last one, super good. We just had the one rail and finished up in 20th place.
For